Hello everyone and welcome to a new week. This week we're going to learn a couple different things. But first of all, we're going to start off with files and exceptions. And files and exceptions is very important in the role of software development. One of the major roles it plays is any application that you developed, you want to create a log. Whether it's on a database or whether it's you're saving it to a file, more or less you'll find out that a lot more people save it to a file, and it's good to have it to a standard file. Allows you to evaluate the file and see what happened. Okay, so let's say that we're developing a program and we're creating some sort of whatever. We want to evaluate, hey, did this work? Did it not work? Let's review our log. So let's get started with our first program today. So I've already started a new project called File Exceptions. So right click and do New File. I'll call, this one, I'll call it Add New Records .py. Alright, so first thing, this program is going to be an inventory of records. Okay, so the first thing that we'll have here is we're going to start off with a def main this time. We also, in this case, we've never declared a variable at this point in this class and in this program, but in this case we need to, because we're going to have a loop go around and search for a certain letter of the alphabet, and we want it to be we'll see here. Let's set up something called, this right here will be creates a variable to control the loop. So this right here is going to control the loop. Alright, so this variable is going to be called, I'm going to call it flag equals y. Alright, so we'll explain what that does in shortly. Alright, so now I need to open the file in append mode. Alright, what does that mean? Does anyone know what append mode is? So let's say that you had a file, like, let me find text edit here, because we're all using a Mac, and new document. Alright, so we have this new document, right? And let's say that we have a line that gets created and it says, I don't know, file, let's see, the program was successfully executed on 11/5/17 at 12, let's say 3:30 a.m. We'll put even milliseconds in there. Something like that, or we'll just put 3:30 a.m. Okay, and then we might have another one. We'll just copy and paste that and put a different time there. Give you copy that. Place that. And we'll put 3:35 a.m. Alright, so now we have this file. And see, this is our existing file right here. And we are going to append it. Append means we're just going to add to it. So this right here is, let's say that was created on 11/5. So let's say that, okay, we add a new record, all right? And the program we'll say has failed to execute the program. We'll just say has failed to execute on, we'll put 11/6/17 at 2:30 a.m. Okay, what this does right here, this is the append, means it adds to that record, adds to that file, so that file doesn't have to be recreated each time. It just keeps adding to it and so forth. Okay, so that is an append file. I'll delete that. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to turn that method on. So we're going to give a file name of some sort. So we'll say wine file equals open. and then we'll call it wine log. Well, let's call it wine inventory dot text. Now I know that we're on a Mac and we don't have text, but we're gonna create text because this is what more likely you'll be using. And A is for appending. Alright, now we need to add records to the file. So in this case, it's going to be a little bit different. In this program, we're going to teach you how to write records to it. So if you actually had a program, so let's say that you had a web application and you wanted to log stuff, you would automate this process. You would use this type of code, but you would send dynamic files or static files that would happen behind the scenes. But this will show you how to get started. All right, so first thing that we need is get the record. So we need to get the record. So we're going to say, well, we need to create the loop. So we're going to have while. Name of our file up there is called flag. Our flag is going to come in. We're going to say while the flag equals y, or, now here's the interesting thing. If you're using Java or C#, you're doing that. But in Python, why create all that complexity? We'll just put or. And we'll say the name of the file, flag, equals y. Now, why are we doing it this way? Well, what we're doing is we're allowing the user to enter either lowercase or uppercase. Okay? We're not forcing them. We can force them, but in this case, we're not. So, get the wine inventory. All right, so now I'll do print and I'll put enter the following wine inventory. Sorry, I like wine a lot, and that's why I want to talk about wine. But what we want to do is we want to take these ticks off, these literal strings, and put this here. Not that. There we go. We don't want a literal string there. Alright, let's see. Hit enter. And then we need to create a description. So I'll say description equals inputs description. This is where we'll input the description. Maybe not description. Maybe instead of description, we call it, let's call it something else. Type, wine type. So we'll enter the type of wine, and we'll talk about what that is. And now we want to add is quantity. Okay, quantity is how many bottles did we get. So input quantity in bottles. So not by each bottle is usually 750 milliliters. Some lighter, some more, but the basis, they're all pretty much that. So we'll put bottles. We'll have a, let's see here, tick. All right, there we go. But we want to, we want to have this here. Okay, there we go. All right, now in here we need to append the data to the file. Now we haven't created the text file, but we'll have it create it itself here in a second. Let's see here. So what we do is we take the name of the file up there, wine file. Let me say wine file dot. You see all these options here. You could close, you could errors, you could do all sorts of different stuff. Now all we want to do is we want to do write. So we want to write, and we want to put the, what are we writing? So our first thing was to type. So we'll do type, and we'll do a plus and a new line. enter. We'll do the same thing for the other value. So we'll do winefile.write. We'll do, the other one was quantity. So we'll do quantity. We'll do that one a little bit different. So what we'll do here is we'll do str for string quantity because it's an integer, so we want to convert it to a string. We'll do plus new line. Okay. All right. Moving on. We need to determine whether the user wants to add another record. Okay. So in order to determine that, I'm going to do print. Do you want to add another record? Simple. And then we give them the option. So we called our, we have to use this right here. This is our loop. So we're looking for Y because we're going to press Y or N for no. So I'm going to put flag equals input. And I'm going to put Y equals yes. Anything else, meaning in case they want to, equals no. Okay. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Now, what's also important about this is we need to close the file. Okay. Well, let's say that they do press no. They do go for, they don't go for Y, they enter something else, Z, whatever letter to enter. We want to ensure that the file is closed. Okay, we don't want to leave it open. All right, so I'll come over here, I'll put close the file. And how do we do that? We take the name of the file, which was called winefile.close. Should be on there. And that's it right there. Now we'll do a print statement here, and I'll say data, well, let's say the winery inventory has been appended to the log. I don't know. Make it up as we go. Now the last thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that the function's called in this case. All right, so there's our main function. I'll put it right here. Function call the function. All right, geez, let's see if this works. This is a lot here. I'm sure I messed up somewhere. All right, so it'd help if I actually had it going here. All right, so what type of wine type are we looking at? So those who are not familiar with wine has different genres. You have red wine, you have white wine, but then it gets down to white wine, you have like a Riesling. If you're using a red wine, you have like a Cabernet, you have a Pinot Noir, all these different flavors. So one of my most recent favorite flavors or types has been the Pinot Noir. It's actually a hybrid grape. It was invented by Cornell University in New York in the late 70s. Well, this isn't a history lesson on wine, so I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to put how many bottles did I get? I'm going to put, I got 12 bottles. All right, so now here's what we have. Do you want to add another record? Yes or no? So I'm going to hit, see, remember we could put Y or uppercase it. So I'm going to hit Y. All right, what other type of wine do I want here? All right, so I'm going to enter a Riesling, which is a white wine, better known as, and we could get more detail on this type of wine. Maybe we want to add, is it a dry, is it a sweet, or semi, or whatever. So quantity of bottles, I'll say I only got 10 bottles in. And then I'm going to hit no, N for no. All right, so now it says that the winery inventory has been appended to the log. So a couple ways that you can check your log is you could click on your file right here, and your text file is right here, and you could just open it. And you can see that we added a Pinot, we added the Riesling. Now, like I said, what if we wanted to add more to it? We wanted to we wanted to add the type. Is it like the I guess the taste? Is it a dry or a sweet? Let's see, 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna clear this right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add one more category to this. So looking at this, we need to come down here and we want to know if it is a what we'll give it more description. So we'll do in this case we'll do a description because this would be good for description. So I'll put maybe I'll put the description right here in front of it. So I'll put description equals input description. I'll put dry or sweet. Now most people like the sweet wine. It does have a good flavor to it, but you can only drink so much. It's just like drinking a 6-pack of pop. Hey, you're gonna get a bellyache after a while. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna change that file around here. It's gonna look a little bit different. So I'm gonna do wine file dot write, and then in this case here I'm gonna do the description. Oops, if I spell description plus let's see here. Now you'll notice that I didn't do all the fancy work because since it's not an integer like down here, I don't have to do anything extra and convert it to a string like this. In this case, it's already a string, so I'm gonna keep it like that. Let's see here. Do I have to do anything else? Nope, I think I'm good. So let's see if it works. So I'm gonna run add new records. All right, wine type. All right, so we'll go to a different one. We'll go with a Cabernet Franc, and this one's usually a Cabernet, a multiple, a Merlot, and maybe another flavor that's mixed together to come up with a Cab Franc. So I'm gonna hit that. Now dry or sweet, I'm gonna say dry. Now there could be, well, there could also be levels. So there's like 0 through 5 on dry. So 1 might be like a semi-dry, but we'll call this one a dry. And how many bottles? I'll say we got 12 bottles. All right, so yes, I want to add more records. So now I'll say that I got a Chardonnay. Chardonnay is a white wine. It's crisp. So I'm going to put a semi-dry. And how many bottles? I got 12. Let's see, I want to add more records. Let's say, what else kind of wine can I get? Let's say that I ordered, thinking this is one of my favorites. All right, let's see, a Pinot Gris, which is a white crisp wine. And I'm going to call this one a semi-sweet, just for the heck of it. And how many bottles did I get? I'll say I got a half a case. All right, so I'm gonna hit end for no. All right, so now if we go up to our inventory, it'll look a little different because we added more to it. Originally, we just had that. Now we added, okay, we had the Cab Franc, we had the dry, we had the 12, whatever. Now, here's something to pay attention to. Now, if you're creating a file that you're adding to a database of some sort, we're gonna wanna have these records across from each other and not go parallel down. But we'll talk about that another time. So thank you for listening. This is a little bit longer, but this kind of gives you a really good understanding how to do what you're trying to accomplish. If you have any questions, message me on YouTube and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.